When is the right time to buy? This is one of the biggest questions people wrestle with when they're thinking about buying a home. The reason this question feels so overwhelming is because the advice around it is usually so extreme. Some people say buy as soon as you can, and some people say you need to wait till everything changes. And even worse, well, you'll just know when the time's right. Well, we all know none of that really helps to make a confident decision because the right time to buy isn't just about the calendar or the market headlines. The right time to buy is about how well positioned you are financially, emotionally, and logistically. So today we're going to walk through how to recognize when buying a home is aligned with your life, your comfort level, and your long-term plans, so that when you do move forward, it feels intentional and steady instead of rushed or stressful. So if you've ever felt stuck between I don't want to rush and I don't want to miss out, you're definitely not off track. You're being intentional, and that's definitely a good place to be when you're making a decision this big. One of the clear signs that timing is right has nothing to do with whether or not you're pre-approved by a mortgage lender. It has to do with how the payment actually fits into your real life. A mortgage payment can technically fit within mortgage guidelines and still feel very uncomfortable once everything else is factored in. Because your housing payment doesn't exist in isolation, it lives alongside utilities, insurance, maintenance, groceries, gas, childcare, healthcare, and other everyday living expenses like the Dunkin' coffee that you need every day at 3. When buying is well timed, your payment fits into your life without creating constant pressure. That doesn't mean that it feels effortless, but it shouldn't feel fragile either, like one unexpected bill could throw everything off. So instead of asking, what is the maximum that I qualify for? A better question might be, what payment still feels manageable if life gets a little bit more expensive? Because if we're honest, life usually does get more expensive. When you buy at the right time, your home supports your lifestyle instead of stretching it thin. And if you're realizing that comfort matters more to you than squeezing into the highest possible price point, that's not being overly cautious, that's just being smart. It's really hard to enjoy your new home when there's stress and tension around paying that monthly mortgage. Another really important indicator of good timing is how prepared you feel after closing, not just leading up to it. When people are well positioned to buy, they don't just get through the transaction. They move into their home knowing that they still have breathing room. Because home ownership comes with normal, predictable costs like maintenance, seasonal utility changes, small repairs. None of that means anything was wrong with buying the home. It's just part of home ownership. And when savings are part of the plan, those things feel manageable instead of stressful. So it's worth asking yourself, after I buy, will I still feel financially steady? Buying works best when you don't feel drained by the process, when you feel confident that you can handle what comes next without constant stress, knowing that you didn't have to completely drain your savings just to get to the closing table, only to be left feeling financially insecure after moving in. And really quick, if you're watching this because you're thinking about relocating to Shreveport-Bossier and you're trying to figure out how all these pieces fit together, as a realtor, I put together a relocation guide that walks through things people usually wish they'd known earlier. It helps to make the move a lot smoother and helps you to feel more at home a lot sooner. You can download that using the link in the description below. Now let's keep going. Another piece of timing that doesn't get talked about enough is how home ownership fits into your current season of life. Some seasons call for flexibility and other seasons call for stability. Buying feels right when it aligns with where you are headed, not just where you are today. If your life feels relatively settled and you're excited about putting down roots, ownership often feels grounding and reassuring. But if things are still evolving, career changes, family transitions, possible relocations, that doesn't mean that buying is wrong or out of the question. It just means that timing probably does deserve a little more intention, because the home should support your life, not make it feel smaller or more complicated. There's no perfect timeline. There's really just alignment, and that alignment looks different for everyone. Another sign that timing is right is how responsibility feels to you right now. You know, like adulting and all. Home ownership comes with responsibility. When buying is well timed, that responsibility feels manageable. When it's not, it can feel overwhelming. That doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just means your emotional bandwidth matters, and it's definitely worth paying attention to. So pay attention to the idea of how home ownership feels. That reaction isn't something to ignore. It's useful information that helps guide better decisions. And don't let anyone pressure you into that decision. After all, they probably won't be there to help you when you have to choose a plumber to replace your water heater. I'm just saying. Now, here's the most empowering part of this whole conversation, and it's not to be overlooked. The right time to buy isn't something that you wait around for passively. It's something that you create. Preparation turns uncertainty into clarity. Preparation looks like understanding your numbers, strengthening your credit intentionally, building reserves gradually, and getting clear on what actually matters to you, not what looks impressive online. When those pieces come together, buying doesn't feel rushed or overwhelming. It feels calm and deliberate. Prepared buyers don't feel pressured, they feel ready. So when people ask, is now the right time to buy? A better question might be, am I positioned in a way that makes buying feel supportive and not stressful? For some people, the answer is yes, right now. But for others, it's soon, with a little preparation. And both of those answers are completely valid. Now, if you've ever thought of building your home, your dream home from the ground up, click here to watch this video on building versus buying.